Hey there, YouTube. I'm editing this video kind of quickly. I'm actually shooting the intro on my phone because I've been really busy for the last week and I just wanted to get you guys a video out. I got a little bit of footage from last week. I was working on a ride plate, kind of a new idea with a ride plate, and also I worked on making another bed plate and some other stuff. I also have some footage within the last couple of days. Something neat kind of happened, but I'm going to put that in a separate video so it doesn't end up too long. This video kind of ends up ending a little bit abruptly. Spoiler alert, I was working on making another bed plate to try to sell to somebody because they showed interest, but I've had two issues. One is that my PayPal won't work. It says you need to go through my website, and that just doesn't make any sense at all. Contacted PayPal and they were no help whatsoever. And the other problem is that I just don't have time. I got the part out of the mold, but I don't have time to completely finish trimming it up or putting the holes in it accurately. So I don't want to mess it up, so I'm just leaving it. Yeah, at the end of this video, it's going to end kind of abruptly. And I started infusing the part, but I just didn't have time to film it. I got it out of the mold. I didn't film taking it out of the mold, so I'm sorry about the ending on this. I will come back and let you guys know when it's over. All right, YouTube, I've been spending the last day trying to quickly prepare a couple of more parts. I threw together most of a bed plate, and I also put together another ride plate and tried infusing it in a different way. So it's really nice how this tacky tape comes off of the mold. Part of that is due to, I think, the fact that I'm using the free coat release agent. And I think also part of that is due to the fact that it's a high temperature tacky tape. I think I hear Quasar screaming at me. Although it might be seagulls or children playing. But I better go check. Well, I guess it didn't stick to the mold. We can take a look at it now before I remove all this stuff. If it didn't turn out, I might just throw this one out because, yeah, let's just hope it turned out. Yeah. It actually worked really well. There's a little bit of a cosmetic flaw here, but the whole thing infused. Man, that feels light. And that free coat release agent works incredibly well. That is so crazy. This feels ridiculously light. Like, even as it is, it feels light. And it's not trimmed yet. All right, what do I do with my mold so that it doesn't get broken? All right, YouTube, I wanted to see how light I could make a ride plate and still have it be a usable part. So I went a little bit crazy. This ride plate here, I think, was almost 1,000 grams. It's like 980 something. This one, I think, is 875-ish. So this is quite reasonable. It's 1 pound, 14.8 ounces. And this one here is the one that I just made. I used a different process for laying up the material. It is quite thin through the majority of the bed plate, or ride plate rather. Through the main area, it's actually only 2 millimeters thick, just over 2 millimeters thick. And then I have reinforcements at the end, and then some ribs here and along through here, and then reinforcement along the side. The reinforcements along the side are actually tapered to match the contour of the actual part. And then these ribs follow through and actually go through the areas where the bolts go through. so that I could actually drill through that area without weakening it too much. So I've got a rib going across here, one going across here, and then I added some material across the back so that it wouldn't be super thin across the back and chip. So the majority of this, the non-reinforced areas are 2 millimeters thick, a little over 2 millimeters thick, 2.15-ish. And then the ribs are, I believe, 4 millimeters or 5 millimeters. And so is the reinforcement along the side, with the exception of the areas where the bolts go. That is 7 millimeters thick. I should have paid closer attention to the measurements of the actual hull. I should have removed the pump and measured the center to center on the bolt holes, because the R&D ride plate that I copied wasn't very dimensionally accurate. And so I made the mold based on that ride plate, which turned out to be wrong. And then I tried to make some corrections on this one and got it to fit, but not very well. This one fits pretty well, but the bolt holes should have been just slightly out further. So then I tried to make this one with the bolt holes out further, and I think I might have gone a little bit too far with it. It looks like center to center should be, I think, 235 millimeters. And I haven't actually measured this one, but I made the holes for the bolts 5/16 to give it lots of kind of slop so that I could line it up. This one I'm thinking I might actually sell as a race ride plate, something that isn't going to be taking a huge thrashing, but just will be really, really light. Again, this is 608 grams. That is ridiculous. Actually, I'll put it back on the scale and see what that is in pounds, because I'm kind of curious myself. 1 pound, 5.4 ounces. 608 grams. So yeah, extremely light. It would still stand up to kind of everyday jet skiing, but if you thrashed it into some rocks or, you know, did a bunch of wake jumping, I'm fairly confident that it would eventually break. So yeah, not sure what I'm going to do with these things. I am working on building another bed plate. And I have started on building a really, really glossy pump stuffer. I had some leftover epoxy and I coated this and put it on a piece of glass. So this is going to be kind of a neat project. And also I finished making one other pump stuffer here, which turned out really nice. I'm trying something new. I'm trying to make a bed plate, one more bed plate before we head out on our trip, which is 1 week and 1 day away. It's currently Monday. And I've got the bed plate in the oven all hooked up, and I'm actually going to try to infuse it while it's warm. So it's currently 122 Fahrenheit. I assume it's going to cool off a little bit as the epoxy starts to flow into it. But yeah, I've got it all set up. I've got the epoxy cup out here, and I've got the chamber out here currently degassing the epoxy. And what I'm going to do is inject or infuse the epoxy from the outside into the oven. And it's going to heat up, warm up as it goes into the part, and that should lower the viscosity of the epoxy. 122 Fahrenheit isn't hot enough that it's actually going to cause it to flash cure or anything. At least I'm hoping. This is a bit of an experiment. I'm going to be kind of upset if it doesn't work, because I definitely don't have enough time to put another one together. So really hoping that this works, but we will see. As I said at the beginning of the video, this does end quite abruptly. This is where the video ends. I didn't actually get to film anything inside of the oven because it would defeat the purpose of having a part in the oven if I kept opening the door and letting the heat out. Also, you couldn't see anything because I couldn't turn the light on. The vacuum line was very close to the light bulb and it would have burned through. So This part did turn out fairly well. This process worked quite well. I kept the infusion rate fairly slow and infused it about 120 to 130 Fahrenheit. And yeah, the part turned out really well. I trimmed it up. It is quite light. I used a slightly different layup method in this one and shaved a little bit of weight. And yeah, it turned out really well. Unfortunately, I won't be able to finish this up probably till Christmas, because I don't think I'm going to take it with me and try to finish it at my new home for the winter. So I'm going to try to film a little bit on my way out. I might even try to do a few live streams. Don't know if anybody's going to watch, but I will be trying to release one more video before I go. Something kind of exciting happened, and I'm going to try to turn it into a video and get it out for you guys. I also wanted to say that it is a sad day when neither myself nor the Jet Ski Brothers release a video on Sunday. Normally I watch them and a couple other channels, and one of those channels released a video late today, and yeah, it was not a good day for videos on YouTube. Anyway, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.